Good morning. How is everybody doing today? Happy Monday and Merry Christmas. Happy holidays for everybody that doesn't celebrate Christmas. I don't know what you are, but I love you. You human beings, you beautiful human beings. It is Monday the 23rd today. I am pre-recording this as I am going to be out of town. I'm going out of town for the holidays. Going to go and disconnect from the world for a little bit and turn my phone off for the most part. I'll still be sharing some stuff here and there through social media, just basically posting, not interacting too much. But yeah, it is the holidays. And so as I like to do in the springtime, summertime, fall time, and especially as well, I guess, during the winter time, is find ways to disconnect from social media, from my phone, from technology in general. I think today's day and age with how, you send a message, it's instantly delivered, and you get your little read receipts, you get your little this and that, and you get the blue bubbles, you get the blue text bubbles. And so everything is so my message sends instantly, it shows up instantly on their phone, they fucking check it because everyone checks their phone within 5 minutes. And then the messages, everything is so instantaneous nowadays. You click a button, you get a meal delivered to your house. Before you had to find somebody that was a good cook and marry them. And nowadays, if you want a good meal, you just push probably, I don't know, 5-6 buttons on your phone. And then within an hour, it's just at your door. And with all these, everything is so instantaneous nowadays. You need to have a sexual experience. You got porn. You need to have, a little instant boost of dopamine and instant gratification. Go on social media. You find people that agree with you vehemently and will attack other people that don't agree with you. And you can do all of this instantly. You can literally just, with the click of 5 or 6 buttons, you could have a meal, an argument, and you could get your rocks off. And it's just 6-7 clicks tops to get all of that done. Before, that took an entire lifetime, or what felt like to some people. And so everything nowadays is so instant gratification. And it's so tuned towards that, I should say. And because of that, I feel like a lot of us feel this responsibility, this need to not just reply to people, not just pick up calls, not just answer emails, not just, read messages and reply to messages and send some memes and do this stuff. Not just that responsibility, but the responsibility of I need to know everything that's controversial that's going on in the world so that I'm well read enough so that when, my, brother-in-law or my cousin or my uncle or my, my aunt, everybody has an angry aunt that just needs to fucking yell at you for something that you're doing wrong. But you got to equip yourself. At least that's how we feel. We feel hey, instantly I got to know, about this election and these people that are being appointed to this cabinet and these, little shady back deals that are going on with these, medical or environmental companies. And you need to know. You need to know not just now, not just need to know it, but you need to know it now. You need to know it before your friends and family do, so you can actually say, actually, what? Actually, that's not true. Fact checkers have confirmed I'm right on this. And you need to have those, everything has to be instantaneous. Everything, even from we think it just started from social media, but think about back in the day, all the shows that we watched were American Idol or America's Next Best Dance Crew or So You Think You Can Dance or America's Next Top Model. It's all these, we see these people that go from rags to riches. They just got discovered and everything's just so instant. And now all of a sudden, these people are getting record deals, they're getting invited to different parties, and everything just seems so glamorous and instantaneous that we're wait, why do I have to wait 6 months for this letter in the mail? Because Canada Post is on strike and I had to send some documents into the government to get this tax back or there's all this why do I have to wait? Why do I have to deal with this? Or why do I have to develop these skills when these people are just kind of getting whatever they want overnight? Why do I have to? And so I think that a lot of us get sucked into this this feeling or this responsibility, like it's our social responsibility to just like always be connected to social media, always be available to reply to messages, to pick up calls, to reply to emails, to see things, and just to know things, to just genuinely just know what's going on like all the time with everything. You're like, oh, you don't know about this fucking civil war that's going on in Afghanistan in the middle of fucking, you don't know every detail on how many dollars have gone there and why we need to be there or why we shouldn't be there or why we, like all this, like instantly you're supposed to be just like, nobody can just be like a carpenter anymore. And I say carpenter because that's what I do. But it's like nobody can just be, you also have to be like a social media expert. You also have to be like you have to know a lot about foreign affairs and your government domestically, but also about the ones down south. And you have to be a savant about, is that a word? You have to be like an expert on fucking every single thing. And if you're not, you're just some uninformed bigot. Like it's like oh, you don't know about this genocide that's going on over in this fucking region of the world that you've never been to, can't pronounce, never plan on going to, or it's like now everybody has to be an expert on every single thing. Like it's like we have this like pressing feeling, like I said, like it's almost like a social responsibility to just be like miserable and anxious and stressed about every single topic. And I just think that of course, it's Christmas time. We're going to be gathered around the tables. We all need something interesting to argue about. We all need to be right. We all need to be, informing our family members on how they could, feel less guilt and less shame. And it's important to equip yourself with those things so you could just kind of use the selected facts that you get off of your algorithm to use as a cudgel to make your family and friends feel worse. And I know that we all feel that way, but maybe, just maybe, this holiday season, we could feel like maybe disconnecting from that and having some genuine conversations and having some time to reflect on maybe the mistakes that we've made in the past, or maybe, have some conversations about moving past those things and forgiveness and grace with your family members, or maybe just kind of, I don't know, find similarities and where you agree and what you love to do together. I feel like so many times, especially during the holidays, is kind of like a perfect fucking time to really just actually disconnect from, technology, social media, and then just this overarching feeling that we all have. Or maybe I'm just unique and maybe I just am the only one that feels like I just need to know things just so that I'm not like, you never want to be just like caught. Excuse me. You never want to just be caught ignorant or not knowing of like, a lot of us nowadays, we feel uncomfortable saying like, hey, I have no idea what you're talking about. I'm actually pretty ignorant to that. Like maybe you could tell me more about it, or maybe you could send me some like resources or ideas that you, I don't know. I feel like a lot of the time we're not actually, trying to know about these things to actually know about these things and increase our knowledge and our scope of, how we view the world. I think a lot of the times that when we're connecting into these like zeitgeists, it's more about, how do I not look like an idiot at the next family dinner? And how do I kind of maybe make someone else look like the idiot? Like, I think that's a lot of the time, a lot of the time. And depending, I don't know if you guys have family members where they like legitimately sometimes will bait you almost, it feels like, where they ask you the questions of like, hey, what do you think about this? What do you think about that? And you can kind of already smell, it's like, oh, you're looking to argue with me, or you're just like looking for a reason to judge right now. Like and I think that all of this stems from this need to know, this need to be connected. And I'm not trying to be an advocate of like, you should be ignorant to everything. But I'm just trying to get away from this feeling, this responsibility we all kind of seem to have, whether you want to admit it or not, of like this, like, I just need to be connected and I need to know everything that's going on. And I think that, obviously, when we talk about being involved in these technologies, if you look at your screen time, your own personal screen time, I can guarantee you it's above 5 hours. It's above probably 6 hours for some of you. And I'm not trying to guilt anybody. I know like some people stare at a screen all day for work, but It's like if you're really just like, if you were to calculate how many hours a day you're just looking at a screen, it's like, do you really think that you're, being present with your loved ones around you? Do you really think that you're being present when you're, even listening to these conversations that you're having in person? Do you really think you're present with what you're trying to fucking focus on right now while you're listening to this, or while you're scrolling through social media, or whatever you're doing? And like, maybe some of you are doing this while you do another task, but it's like, when you're actually just staring at a screen. Actually, podcasts and audiobooks are a little different because you're like listening to it while you're doing something else. But when you're actually staring at a screen, when you're watching something, if you're watching this on YouTube or whatever you're doing, I know a lot of people, like if you're like me, you just kind of minimize the video while you listen to it or you do other shit. But it's like, if you look at your screen time, you look at how much time you spend looking at a screen on a daily basis, and you try and tell me that that doesn't have anything to do with your attention span, with how present you are in the moment, with how grateful you are and how mindful you are of where your focus and your attention goes. Like, these are the same types of people that are like, oh, I can never focus on that. I can never focus on that. You're like, yeah, well, maybe if it had some fucking TikTok stars dancing in the background with some fucking hip hop beats, some fucking lights flashing and a couple booties shaking, maybe you could fucking focus on it, but you've probably fried your fucking system. And so if you're like me, or if you're like that type of person that I'm just talking about, where you're a little bit fried, your attention span's a little bit lower than it normally should be, or maybe it's always been like that because you've always been like this, maybe it's time to disconnect. If you find yourself having these types of conversations, you're sitting around the family dinner table and you find yourself maybe standing up and shouting at somebody, or acting a fool, like maybe just over drinking or over serving yourself, or just kind of really, maybe it's at that point, maybe it's time to disconnect a little bit. Maybe at that point, it's time to disconnect a little bit less from the technology, and connect a little bit more to the people around you and the world that you actually genuinely live in. I think that that's obviously going to do wonders for your mental and physical health, your mind, your body, and your soul. And for some people, for me, obviously, I know that I kind of struggle completely, set my phone on airplane mode and check it in a couple days kind of thing. I kind of struggle with completely disconnecting from technology. And I think that in today's day and age, it's almost unreasonable to ask people to do that, like your average person, for multiple days in a row. So let's, again, borrowing from the idea of the last few videos, let's start small. Let's work our way there. How about we can just start with setting some boundaries? Like, have you tried fucking putting your phone on sleep mode, or do not disturb, or on a focus setting or something like that? Like, I for myself, that's one of the techniques that I've used, is just I put my phone on sleep mode, and then between 7 p.m. and 7 a.m., I don't fucking receive messages. I receive them, but I just don't get the notification. It's pretty easy if you actually are intentional about it. Turn off all your notifications. If you need to use your phone to check the weather or fucking set an alarm or something like that, go for it. But set some boundaries for yourself. Set some focus modes. Set some sleep modes. Here's a random fucking idea. How about set your phone in a room like your office or a living room or something to charge overnight, instead of having that fucking thing with Bluetooth and Wi-Fi frying your fucking brain all night right beside your bed. And if you can't sleep, you're like, oh, I'll just fucking watch a couple more TikTok videos. I'll just fucking scroll through here, and then we wonder why we can't sleep, we can't focus, we can't fucking feel good without our fucking phones. No brainer. You never do those things. So how could you be good at it? You never fucking do it. And I feel like in a world where everybody's talking about mindfulness and being present and being, self-aware and being engaged fully in the activities and bonding with your loved ones, we all do that through the lens of if they agree with me, and if the activities are good, and if I like them, and if they can stimulate me enough, and we never allow ourselves to actually be like, hey, how do I actually get along with this person that doesn't always agree with me? How do I get along with, and maybe, is it possible to even love them and enjoy their time? Enjoy the time you spend around them? Yeah, you might not agree on every single little thing. They might not, be in the same extremist Facebook groups that you're in, They might not be, you know, into the same activities, let's say. But I think that the more we can disconnect ourselves from this idea that these things are reasons to separate ourselves from one another, like we're told on social media, and instead we could actually use these things of like, hey, why do you think that way? Or how come you think that way? Because I think that most of the time, if you disconnect from this like zeitgeist of like, if you don't agree with me, you're my enemy. And the more you start to connect to like this idea of like, oh, I actually don't need a ton of engagement on social media. I actually don't need a ton of attention from these people that I've never met. It's actually kind of more important to me to get a bunch of engagement with the people that, you know, I actually interact with on a daily basis, or the people that I'm related to, or the people that I love. Like, it's a little bit more important, I feel like, to have them like you than to have other people like your shit on social media. But that's just me. That's just my humble opinion as a silly little carpenter. But yeah, you know, the holidays are a time to be grateful. Holidays are a time to disconnect from technology, in my personal opinion. It's the time where, you know, some people like to just sit there and compare. Oh, what's so-and-so's fucking turkey is only that fucking big? So-and-so didn't even have fucking cranberry sauce with the, like, you know, we go on social media and you were like comparing like, oh, this is the gift I got my wife. What'd you get yours? Oh, this is the... You know, this is how much time I get to, this is where I spent my holiday, you know, and we're just sitting there spending time with people that genuinely love us and want the best for us. And we're sitting there feeling bad because, oh, so-and-so got to go to Thailand or fucking, you know, Jamaica or fucking Cuba during the holidays and enjoy the sun. Well, I'm just sitting here with people that love me. You know, we start to get down this like comparison. And so like, look, maybe, you know, maybe you don't have a lot of people around you. Maybe you don't have your friends and family right next to you. Maybe you know, maybe you live in a different country. Maybe you live in a different city. Maybe it's a little bit difficult. Maybe you're seeing them next month. I don't know. But if I could suggest anything to anybody this holiday season, it's like disconnect a little bit more from technology. You don't need to be on it all day, every single day, all year. You could spend a couple days during the Christmas season to just be mindful, to just be grateful, to just kind of spend time with people around you, or spend that time allowing yourself to rest. Like the same way that you work out like if you were to work out every single day, eventually you'd get burnt out and you'd be like, hey, I kind of think I might need a rest day, or I might need to do something to recover, you know, whether that's stretching or eating properly or whatever it is. And we know that. And we feel the same way about work. You know, would you want to work 7 days a week? And some people do, but would you want to? Does your body like it? Does your brain, is it good for you? Is it good for you physically and mentally? It's arguable, you know, maybe. But the same way we think of like, oh, we need rest from work. Oh, we need rest from exercise. Oh, we need rest from this. We need rest from that. We never actually allow ourselves or think about even deserving or needing rest from technology and social media. In fact, a lot of us feel like technology and social media are our rest. Like we rely on these types of things of like, I'm just going to disconnect tonight. I'm going to click on some Netflix. I'm going to watch some fucking shows. I'm just going to allow myself to rest. I'm just going to go on, you know, YouTube or fucking Instagram or whatever social media is your favorite thing to use. And, you know, a lot of us, we tell ourselves like, oh, I'm going to kick back and watch some YouTube videos and rest. And we use, and we use technology as a way or a media of rest. And I think that a lot of us, it's like, that's like using a fucking marathon to rest from a weightlifting fucking competition. You know, it's like, all right, it's not the same thing, but it's still actually physically demanding on your body. And that's something that you're going to need recovery from. Like we never think of technology like that. It's like, yeah, you're using this technology and you're not like actively moving around, but like, dude, it's abusing your brain. It is abusing your brain chemistry. And so using technology to rest from technology, because half of us are fucking using technology for work anyways, it's like, yeah, allow your brain and body to rest. Why do we feel like, or why is it normalized in every other section of life of like, you know, you can't always be around people. Sometimes you got to rest yourself and recover your energy. You can't always be exercising. So sometimes you're going to have to rest and allow your body to recover. You can't always be fucking eating. Sometimes you got to digest. Sometimes you got to let your body rest. And in the same fucking way, you can't always be on social media. You can't always be connected to your phone, your smartphone, your whatever apps you use in the world news and everything like that. Like, you can't always be connected to that and not expect that you're going to need to disconnect and rest from it every once in a while. And so on that note, we've got 2 days left till Christmas. And then I guess, we'll have one more episode this year. And after that, it's 2025. And so on that note, I think that's a beautiful place to wrap this up. Merry Christmas, everybody. And I'm excited to see you next week and excited to see you in the new year. If you guys enjoy this episode, feel like somebody needs to hear it or anything like that, please do share the show, help it grow. And, if you're watching this on YouTube or anything like that, like, comment, subscribe. If you're listening to this on a podcast platform, rate it 5 stars, leave a review, share it with a friend, all that jazz. Love you guys all. Merry Christmas. Much love. Peace out. See you next week. I just did the peace sign like 3 times. So peace. Bye. Love you.